It's been a while, but we're back with an Atreyu shoe. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. That's right. Today we are talking about a shoe from the brand Atreyu Running, an Austin-based brand that's been around for a couple of years now and has made their name in the running shoe game. And that's a hard thing to do when you have brands like Saucony, Nike, Asics, Hoka, New Balance, all of those to compete with, and they've done that. This year, they're coming out with a brand new shoe, and that is the Atreyu Race Model. The two things that make their shoes so great is that they are simple. They're not giving you any bells and whistles and frills and all kinds of gimmicks in their shoes. Their shoes are pretty straightforward, and they are also pretty affordable. Right now, Atreyu has the base model, they have the daily trainer, and they have a shoe called the Artist, which would seem pretty similar to this shoe, all things considered. It has a carbon plate, it has a TPE base midsole foam, and a pretty minimal upper. Well, the Race Model does all of that, but in an upgraded and I think better package. So yes, this is supposed to be Atreyu's marathon race day shoe, half marathon, 10K even. And a lot of the other shoes in this category are extremely expensive, $200 and above, and most of the time above. This shoe right here, $120. So that does pose the question, is it as good as the shoes that are $100+ more? That's what we're gonna talk about today. But first, of course, you gotta watch the run footage. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by Atreyu. However, they're not seeing this video before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. So first things first, let's talk about the upper of the Race Model. Atreyu is using a TPEE reflective weave with microfiber underlays, not overlays. So this is kind of like a nylon-y type of feel to it. It's a very thin material. It feels breathable to me. In the midfoot, there's not a ton of structure. And if you go to the back, the heel counter is somewhat flimsy. It's not quite sturdy, it's not quite flimsy, it's in the middle there. Now, when it comes to the materials that sit on top of your foot in this area, I actually really like them. I think that this material that they're using reminds me sort of like the Next Percent from Nike, maybe like the OG. This is a snug shoe, so it is gonna hug your foot. I know I did say that this is true to size. However, if you like your shoe to have a little bit more of like a loose feel, perhaps sizing up a half size wouldn't be such a bad idea. I don't seem to have any problems with it, but just wanted to flag that. I really like the tongue too. It's very comfortable and gusseted and just feels nice on the top of my foot. What I'm not crazy about is the heel counter area and the ankle collar, what they used to line that. That material is called unidirectional friction fabric. And it's funny because if you rub your hand on it the wrong way or your Achilles, you feel that it's pretty coarse. So I was wearing ankle socks the first time that I wore this shoe, and I guess they kind of like sunk down a little bit low in my shoe and my Achilles was exposed. And I did get some rubbing on my Achilles from this unidirectional friction fabric. and it was uncomfortable and gave me like the tiniest little bit of a blister. However, I stopped to readjust my sock in the shoe and I didn't have any issues. So if you have really low socks, you might want to invest in a slightly taller pair if you want to wear these. Other than that though, I do think that this upper as a whole is a big upgrade from the Artist's upper and from the other shoes in Atreyu's lineup. And I think that the upper is just as good as some of the more premium, air quotes, brands that are on the market. Now to my favorite part of every shoe, the midsole. Atreyu is using a supercritical TPE foam for the midsole of the race model. This is an upgraded version of what is being used in the Artist, and inside of that TPE, there is a full-length carbon fiber plate. I wasn't really sure what to expect from the race model when it comes to the ride of it. I was maybe expecting it to be a little bit minimal for my liking because Atreyu's shoes are, I think it's safe to say, a touch on the minimal side of things. But here, I think I have just enough cushioning underfoot. For both of my runs, I took it out at my like marathon pace. So it's not anywhere near like my 10K pace, which would be like a lot faster. My marathon pace is around like 8:45 to 9 minutes per mile. Anyways, I thought that it was a very enjoyable ride. Certainly one that can compete with the bigger brands out there. One thing though that I will say is that if you're looking for a race day shoe that has an aggressive feeling plate, you're gonna feel it throttling your foot forward. That's not necessarily the feeling you get from the race model, or at least it's not what I felt. Instead, it feels like a nice package working together rather than just the plate propelling you forward with every step. I did do a couple of strides in the race model as well, just to see if maybe I wasn't going fast enough to load the plate properly, how it would feel if I did go a little bit faster in my 5K, 10K pace. And it was basically the same exact feeling that I got at marathon pace. So it's really not an aggressive feeling shoe, no matter what your pace is, how you're gonna use it. That being said, that is the perfect kind of marathon racer for me. I really don't like a very aggressive shoe. They end up beating up my legs in the later miles of a race, and it's just not something that I want to experience. So if the Atreyu race model was a choice for me on race day, I certainly would consider it. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for you, it's not that stiff. There is some flex to the shoe, and I actually enjoyed that on my runs. As far as stability goes, one of the things that I had an issue with in the Artist was that it just was not stable for me. The platform was way too narrow, and that was an issue with my ankles over time. I feel like here it's a little bit wider. I'm not positive that it is, but it feels like it is, and I felt like it was more stable than the Artist was. So do I think that this shoe can compete with some of the other super shoes in the market? Yes, I definitely think that. However, I want you to approach it realizing that this is a simple shoe. So if you're gonna compare this to something like the Saucony Endorphin Elite, it's not going to feel any way, shape, or form like that shoe. This is a much more watered down version of a super shoe, but it does hold its own for what it is, and at the price point, you really can't beat it. Turning the Atreyu race model over, we have a perforated die cut rubber here. That's all the blue that you see, and then we have this nice cutout of exposed TPE foam with the little insect. This rubber felt fine to me. I was able to grip onto that pavement. I didn't feel nervous that it was gonna slip out from under me. As I keep running it, I'll take it out in different weather conditions and we'll see for sure, but I don't see a problem occurring. All right, well, I've said this many times already today, but the race model from Atreyu will be $120. It's supposed to be releasing this month, October 2023. That is their target. Once it does become available, I will link it in the description of this video. You can click that link and pick up your own pair. This is not an affiliate link, but I just want to make it easier for you to find the shoe once it becomes available. And again, if you are a person who is sick of all the nonsense under your foot on race day and you want something simple, to the point, and comfortable, then this is a shoe that you should be looking at. And even if you don't necessarily want to use it for race day, like I think that this shoe would be perfect for me for training runs, like tempo runs and that sort of thing, and even like longer distance, like semi up tempo, like not full throttle killing it, then I think this is also a great shoe to look at for that kind of thing. I think it's actually a lot more versatile than the name portrays it to be. As for me, I'm definitely gonna keep running in this shoe. I quite enjoyed it. It surprised me, and I think that Atreyu is doing a great job. I cannot wait to see what they come up with in years to come, what comes of their daily trainer model, and all of that sort of stuff. So Atreyu, thank you for sending me this, and I am excited to get some more miles in it. Well, everyone, that concludes my first impressions of the Atreyu race model. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a brand new video. What do you guys think? You like the look of it? I'm into it. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time.